Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids, and this is the Windows Phone 7 Q&A session. I want to say thank you to everyone that's joined us in the chat room. It's really good of you to come along. I've been playing with a Windows Phone 7 for the whole day, just so I can hopefully give you a good insight into really what the user interface is like and what the whole experience is like as well. A lot of us in the chat room sort of heavy iPhone 4 users, and we've stuck with iOS for various reasons for a long time, and probably for about the past probably 6 to 12 months I've really used Google Android as my chosen OS on the phone front. And then, as we all know, a couple of days ago Microsoft launched their Windows Phone 7 handsets, and they've been filtering through into the shops. A lot of them actually sold out on launch day, which was Friday, just yesterday, but I did manage to get hold of one. I managed to get hold of this one here, and I'll be showing you the UI throughout this broadcast. I managed to get hold of an HTC 7 Mozart. Annoyingly, they put this 7 into the names of all the phones just to differentiate them from the rest of the phones that are available. And this is a really nice handset. They've done a really good job of it. I've done quite a few videos today, and they've covered sort of things like the user interface, setting up the phone, and also there's one that's just uploaded to my channel on YouTube which covers using the camera as well. And I've been pleasantly surprised actually. The user interface is nice and fluid. It gives a really nice sort of different experience to what we've been used to with the iPhone. And the reason I say that is the iPhone's obviously very app driven, so you're tapping on apps and then coming out of the app, and after you've done the task at hand you're having to go into another app to do another task. Android is a bit of a mixture of both, and with Android you're using apps but also widgets as well, which can give you live information. And with Windows Phone 7 they've gone for what they call in tiles, and each one of these individual tiles actually gives you sort of live feed to information. And when you're getting this live information, and you don't necessarily have to tap on the app. Sometimes it gives you enough information to actually remain just on the home screen all of the time. Obviously you can tap on the tiles, but that's not what Microsoft want you to do. They're saying that you can actually use your phone, get in to do what you need to do, and then you can come back out and put your phone down. That's what they're basically saying. Now you could take that one of two ways. You could take it that they're saying that the phone isn't that good, or you could take it that they're saying we're going to give you a user interface that's going to let you get some of your life back, and you're not going to just be sort of living in your phone screen the whole time. So just before I move on to some of the questions that are coming through about the customization and the game graphics, etc., I will give you demos of all those during this Q&A session. I just want to quickly cover off some of the handsets that are available. Now there's obviously this one, which is the HTC Mozart. There's also one called an HD7, which is a larger screen, a 4.3-inch screen. There's an HTC Trophy, and then coming on Monday, hopefully to my office, I'm going to be getting a Samsung Omnia 7, so I'll be able to show you some comparisons between all the different handsets. For me, the HD7 is on O2 only. I don't like O2 as a company, don't like their customer service, so I went for getting one of these on a loan, and I've also got the Samsung Omnia 7, which I've actually already committed to as my own phone. I do have another handset that I'm testing at the moment, the HTC Desire HD, but that's obviously running Google's Android. So back to this particular handset before we go into the UI and the questions. This one here has got an 8 megapixel camera. If I show you around the back there, we've got a really nice 8 megapixel camera, and it's got a xenon flash autofocus, and Sam Louis asked about how the 720p video is. Well, I've only done a very brief test of it, but it does seem extremely good, certainly on par with something like the Samsung Galaxy. Before I move on to the UI as well, I just want to say hello to Lockwood Katie. Lockwood Katie, actually a bit of a scoop for you here, is going to be doing a couple of guest reviews for me on the channel. Lockwood Katie's YouTube channel has got some fantastic footage on there, really great presenting style, so do search for Lockwood Katie on YouTube and check out some of her videos. Really very good. But anyway, back to the Windows Phone 7 Q&A. You've seen enough of my ugly mug on the screen, so I'm going to pop this phone down and move the camera around and give you a view of the user interface, and then if there's any questions then please do let me know. So the video is going to go blank just for a minute, just while I move the camera around. So here we have the Windows Phone 7 user interface, and if anyone's got any particular questions they want, then do fire away, but while I'm waiting for questions to come in, then I will just briefly show you this user interface. It is already up on my YouTube channel, a complete guide to the home screen. Now the Darkness Lover has asked, can you change the background and icon images on the main menu? Well, yes, you can. You can change the colour of them. If I go into here and then into settings, and then we go into theme, and this is really the only changes you can make to the actual colours. So we can change the background from dark to light, and we can change the accent colour from all of these colours here, so just the main sort of quite strong colours. So if we wanted to go perhaps to a very red looking theme, and then we go back to our home screen, then it makes everything very red apart from the Xbox Live icon. And you can change the order of them, so I could perhaps tap and hold this one and then move it across to here, and then tap and it sort of changed places. But you can't really just change the colour of single icons. You can't change the background either. They're sort of preset, and that's as far as it goes really to customising it. You can just customise the order. You can't change the sizes of them or anything like that. Baggins 1000 asks, am I preferring this to the iPhone 4? Well, at the moment probably not, but it is a nice user interface. It's got its limitations, but certainly it's too early for me to say whether I'm preferring this to the iPhone 4. Now Sam Louis is asking, does it have notifications on Twitter and Facebook? Well, to be honest, I've had a lot of Twitter updates, and I installed Twitter down here, and it doesn't give me any notifications. It gives me notifications on some of the others, like for example I've got a couple of emails in each of these inboxes, and when I had a message earlier it gave me some information on the messaging tab, and it's also got a number 2 in the marketplace tab. I'm not even sure what that means. Perhaps that means I've got some updates, but certainly on the Twitter application it doesn't. I haven't downloaded the Facebook one yet, but no, that is a good point. It doesn't actually show any updates on this Twitter icon. Bosnod has asked, how expandable is the software, i.e. adding games and apps, etc. Well, let me give you an example now. Let's go into Marketplace, and this will show you some of the apps that are actually available in the Marketplace at the moment. And it's saying they can't connect to Marketplace at the moment, check your data connection or try later. So let me check if I've got a data connection, which I haven't. So if you just bear with me a minute guys, I'm just going to go into settings. You may as well see this. I'll just turn the camera away as I put my password in, but it's quite easy to connect to Wi-Fi. It's turned on, and it's going to search for the various hotspots that I've got in the house, and it should hopefully pick up on that connection, and then we can show you Marketplace up and running. While it's connecting to Wi-Fi, I'll just answer another question from Baggins 1000 asking what's the build quality like. Well, on this particular handset it's pretty good. I've been very impressed with it, and it's actually quite a solid phone, this Mozart. So I'm having problems connecting to Wi-Fi. Let me just turn the camera away a minute while I put my password in. Bear with me guys while I do this. I just want to show you that marketplace up and running, and the wonders of technology have let me down. So let's hope that it signs into this particular network and that we don't lose all functionality, because these phones nowadays, all of these smartphones, actually rely on having connection to the outside world, and it looks like it isn't going to actually connect to the Wi-Fi, so that's absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do is just swing this camera back round and give you a view of my ugly mug again, and let's see if we can reboot the phone. So at least you're experiencing this live with myself, and you found that it's not going to connect to Wi-Fi. So how do we sort this problem out? Well, let's perhaps go back out to my home screen, and I'm going to actually turn the handset completely off. So it's actually saying goodbye to me now and turning off. Just while this is rebooting, the Darkness Lover 06 has asked, would I buy the HD7? Well, I hadn't had a chance to actually look at the HD7 the other day, and you know what, I was really taken with the design of the HD7, but it did have a problem, and I'll tell you what that problem is. All of these touchscreens are made up of a very fine grid of sensors, and that grid of sensors on the HD7, it's got a very high res screen and a very large screen. When you hold it at a slight angle, it does actually show the grid. So you can actually sort of visibly see the grid in it. So on a white background, you can see little dots all over the screen. So not very impressed with the dots that you can see. So I think I've now got a Wi-Fi connection. Basically what I had to do there was just turn the phone off and give it a reboot. So let me just turn this camera back round for you, and we'll get back on to showing you that marketplace. So here we're back with a view of the handset, and just to let you know as well, this status bar at the top, even your phone signal, it disappears all the time. I can't find a way of getting that to stay on completely. You have to tap at the top and it reveals your icons up the top there. So you can see I've got a Wi-Fi signal now. I just want to deal with this this marketplace question and about the games. It's extremely easy to download something and add it to the handset. So you tap on marketplace, and this time with the wonders of technology it should load. Here we go. Now the question was about apps and games, but let's just have a look at games for now, and it's gone straight to the Xbox Live games, and all of these games you have to actually purchase. There are a couple that are free, like Flowers is free, but this is sort of the selection of Xbox Live games that are available at the moment. So quite a good selection. Or we can actually tap across or swipe across, but we go to tap across for now because it will save the phone moving. This is the top games, and then we've got new games, and then we've got free games. Or you can look at the different categories. So for example, here we've got some free games. We've got one called Corona. To add that to the handset, you just tap once on the icon. It gives you some screenshots of the game there and a description, and also some reviews and ratings, and then you just tap the install icon down the bottom, and then it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to install? It does it very similar to Windows, so we have to tap install again, and then it says purchasing, and then it's giving us a progress bar here just by my finger of the download happening, and I can check the install or share details about this with somebody else. So it's already on 50%, and when it's finally finished downloading, it will, from past experience, it won't even inform me that the install has completed. So that's the install almost completed. The camera's probably not picking this up, but it's about 100% now. And now it should be installing, but it's not giving any feedback. So here we go, now installing application. And still installing. It's not giving me any feedback as to the progress of the install, which isn't great. I would have liked to have seen maybe an install progress bar as well. And we're still waiting. We're obviously on a slow connection at the moment. Delon H, just while I'm waiting for this to install, has asked what's my favourite feature on Windows Phone 7. I think probably the favourite feature is the fact that you can go into your live account on your computer and you can actually link all different services to it. So when you sign into your Windows Phone 7 handset, it pulls in all that information automatically. So you can link things like your YouTube and your Flickr and all different services to just one sign-in. So that's the actual sort of favourite feature of mine at the moment. So there you go. We've got the actual install completed, and it doesn't say it's installed. It just goes back to this blank screen. But to get to the actual install, you go back to your main home screen, and then I tap across to here, and then it either puts it in with the games or it puts it separately down here. Hopefully it will have picked up that it's a game, but I just wanted to check. And then we tap on games, and it's got the Xbox Live Collection games here. It's also got Spotlight. There's my little avatar, and the actual download is just underneath. So you've got Collection, and then it's just underneath where it says Other Games. And then to launch the game, you just tap on the icon and it launches the game. Quite a slow launch for this particular one. There we go. So this is actually running in landscape format. I've never actually played this game, but let's launch it and see what the graphics are like. I'm novice because I'm doing it one-handed. Quite a slow load time, I would say, on this one. Now, I've been playing a couple of other games and they've been pretty quick. Press to unleash. So this is like Nova, so we're moving along like this, and we can tap here. So we basically got to shoot all the alien ships on this game, but it runs at quite a nice speed and it's got pretty graphics, and I've got to avoid all of these baddies. This is impossible to do one-handed, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how to install a game and how they run as well. So at any time I can actually come out of this game just by pushing the Windows home screen, and we're back round to our main home screen again. So I hope that's given you a good idea of the sort of gaming performance. Delon has asked another question. Which touchscreen do you think is better? Windows Phone 7 or the iPod, iPhone or iPad? Well, these capacitive touchscreens are getting a lot better now. So I think that they're all pretty much on par with each other. This is a very sensitive touchscreen. It does miss the occasional tap, but it's very fluid and very sensitive to the touch. So I think they're pretty much caught up with the sensitivity of the iPhone screen. Delon, yep, it does have a Snapdragon processor, and Dan, yep, you're right, it's a 1 GHz Snapdragon processor. The Darkness Lover, have you tried the Office app? What's it like? Well, the Darkness Lover 06, no, I haven't, but let's have a look at it now. This is the purpose of this video. So let's scroll down. We've got Office here. Let's tap on Office. So we've got OneNote there. We've got Documents, Explore, Excel, Word and PowerPoint, SharePoint, and Workspace Help. So let's have a look at what would anyone like to see? Should we have a look at Word, everyone? So let's have a look at Explore Word. So what have we got here? How do I get started? Press the new document to start a new document. So it's probably going to be this one here. That's a how do I. So there's a plus there. There we go, so it's plus. Oh, it's asking me for a username to identify yourself in the comments and the document tracking. Okay, well, this is first for me, so let's type in Geekanoids and see if it actually allows me to do anything. There we go, so we've got how do I get started? Press new document. What's it asking me to do now? So let's just type in test here and then return. So we've got no idea what's happening in here. Here we go, find things faster. So this is just a help file. If we perhaps click on this and then on this, well, it's all confusing to me, so not that impressed. You're not liking the camera. Well, sorry guys, there's nothing I can do about that at the moment. So this is not very, I didn't really get what the Office application was doing there. I really need to test that sort of in more depth. Baggins 1000 is asking, does it take a micro SIM? No, it takes a full size SIM card. And Sam Louis wants a demo of the Twitter application. Yep, sure. Let's go down to Twitter. This is the Twitter application. And the only thing I'm not going to show you in this demo, unless I do it accidentally, is my direct messages, because they're obviously private. But this is the Geekanoids timeline. So these are all the people that I follow. And you can see I Glaswegian there. Hi Zen, you're in the chat room. I follow you. You've got some good interesting posts going on there. And I can scroll down and back up to the top. And it's updating at the moment. You can see little dots going across the top. So that's giving me an update now. So that's really good. And then I can actually swipe left to right and go into my mentions. And then the next panel along is the messages. So these are people that have mentioned me. And then if I go back, then I'm back to my timeline. If I want to write a new one, then I tap on the little pencil icon, and I can just type in here on UStream. Spelling mistake. At the moment. Oh, I'm not very good at typing. Here we go. Join me. So I've done that little message there. It's not too bad, seems I'm doing it one-handed. And then to post it, it's this icon in the bottom left-hand corner. I can also add an @ in there as well. I can add a photo to the tweet, or I can just post it, just text only, and that will send it to my Twitter feed. So that gives you an idea of what the Twitter app's like, and probably the keyboard as well, Sam Louis. It's sort of hard to do it one-handed. That gives you an idea of that. Now there's another question coming from Delon H asking if I can use the search feature. Well, yeah, let's just go into the home screen here, and you can see this is updated. I've got some more emails coming, so it's an automatic update there. And let's go into search. It goes straight to Bing search, so I can type in here perhaps Apple and search for it, and then that will give me some results. Bosnod asked, can you take photos in the Twitter app? Yes, you can. So these are the results for searching Apple, and it's obviously given the store and that main website. I can tap on one of them and it will launch the browser, and eventually it will load that Apple store. So it's quite slow at the moment because I'm obviously streaming as well. That's interesting, Sam Louis, that the tweet did come in nice and quick to you. So that's really good to hear. This is so slow on the browser at the moment. I don't think this is a fair representation of the phone actually showing the browser, and I think it's because I'm streaming as well and I'm uploading a video on another computer, so that's not helping with the bandwidth issues. But it is still crawling along at a slow pace, loading this particular page. Now let me just check I'm still on a Wi-Fi connection, which I am, so it is still connected to Wi-Fi. but it will eventually get there. I suppose the Apple Store page is quite sort of graphic heavy, but it should have done it a lot quicker than that. The Darkness Lover, what features do I think would improve this phone, e.g. projector keyboard? Well, I suppose the only thing that could possibly improve this particular phone, I think, is just a very slightly larger screen. Just that would make it just a bit nicer for me. But they introduced so many handsets, HTC, for this Windows Phone 7 launch. I think they did too many. They should have just stuck to two, like a 3.7-inch screen one and a 4.3, instead of launching multiple models. But I suppose they had to make a marketing decision somewhere along the line, and they decided to baffle us with all these different models. So there's the Apple website that's loaded. Obviously we can sort of pinch to zoom, and the nice thing that I found is if I turn it round into landscape orientation, you lose the address bar at the top, so all you get is this red progress bar going across the top. You've got no menu bar at all, so it sort of gives you the maximum possible view that it can about the of the website. So that's really, really nice. There's a new MacBook Air there. I know somebody in the chat room who's got a new MacBook Air. Wow, that's a nice machine. So that is the browser. Let's go back to that home screen, and I'm just going to take a quick drink actually, because I'm losing my voice. AKXSK has asked what the push notification is like, for example, on Facebook. It's not bad. It does update pretty quickly. It seems to be round about the 30-second mark I'm getting stuff pushed to the phone, so it's hard to sort of evaluate at this early stage because I've only had the phone today, but it seems to update pretty quickly. The Darkness Lover, what software comes with the phone? Well, if you look at this home screen, this is the tiles that come pre-installed without the Twitter one. That's one that I've actually added on. So you get your email messaging, the Me tile, People tile, Internet Explorer. On this particular one, because it's exclusive to Orange, you get Your Orange and Orange Wednesdays. You also get the calendar app, music and videos, which is really good actually, the music and videos, Hotmail, pictures, and the HTC Hub. That is a total waste of time, the HTC Hub. It's just a glorified way of looking at apps. And if I just tap on this arrow here, this is all of the applications that come pre-installed, with just a couple that I've added. So you get alarms, calculator, calendar, camera. This is an email account. Games, that's another email account, the HTC Hub, Internet Explorer. You get maps, marketplace, messaging, music and videos, Office, and then some Orange apps, and then the People tile, phone, pictures, settings, sound enhancer. Twitter is one that I downloaded. World Clock is another one I downloaded, and then your Orange. SSL Lanny has asked, does it multitask? No, I couldn't find any way of jumping between apps without just coming back out to the home screen. Oh, the Darkness Lover has just quantified his question. What software comes with the phone? Meaning, is it for the PC or Mac? You don't get any software with the phone at all. You have to go on to the Zune website and download the Zune software. It's only available at the moment for the PC. The Mac version, hopefully, we will get next year. Is SatNav free? Well, there is Orange Maps coming soon, but at the moment the Maps application, it doesn't seem to offer term by term. It uses Bing Maps, and if I just start that map application up, so it uses Bing Maps, and you can get directions, but it will only update as you're driving, so you have to actually physically look at it. I haven't got in the car and tested it properly yet. But certainly it's not a bad experience if I double tap. One of the nice things of this is as you double tap it actually goes into satellite view, so I quite like that. But you can pinch to zoom, you can zoom out like so, and it's fairly quick at updating. I don't think the Bing Maps is as good as Google Maps by any measure. I think Google Maps is a lot better, but Microsoft have tried with this, and I think it has got some nice features, but just not the best experience. Delon 1992 says, have you used the music player yet? Is it better than the iPod music experience? Well, again, this is the purpose of this Q&A session. Let's go back out to the home screen. Let's scroll down to music and video. It's a lot different to what you've been used to on the iPod. So here we've got a scrollable screen. This is showing your main menu here, so you can jump to music, videos, podcast, radio or marketplace from within this first menu, or I can scroll to the right and it shows me the history of what I've actually been playing. Excuse me. So in here I've got a podcast that I've been playing, a Fergie album that I've been listening to, and also a video that I put on there, one of my reviews. So I'll just show you Fergie, so we can tap on that and it starts playing. I now can't interact with the screen other than just sort of scrolling through the tracks. I can't pinch to zoom, or I can't get a better view. The only thing that happens is I can sort of reload or rewind, I should say, or favourite, make that one of my favourite tracks. So it's sort of limited in what it does once you've actually got a track playing. What have I done there? There we go, back to that view there. So I can pause it, I can play, I can skip. It won't work in landscape mode. If I try and turn that round, it stays in portrait orientation, which is a bit of a shame. So that's how the music works. Then if I go back out, it goes back out to my history page. It keeps that one big because that's the one that's actually paused. You can see paused, Voodoo Doll written on there. And I can go across and perhaps play a bit of video. And the video automatically plays in landscape. You can't play it in portrait. And that's one of my videos there. And whilst it's playing, I can hold and skip through. And I can't use that bar at the bottom, so I can't track through it like that. I have to use the buttons that appear on the screen. The Darkness Lover, has the phone crashed yet? Yes, once it did while I was playing Frogger. So let's go back out to the music, and all of this is controllable by the Zune software. And it does a really nice job actually, even with the podcasts. You just copy in an RSS feed and it subscribes you to the podcast, and then you can tell it how many episodes of the particular podcast you want to actually synchronize with the device. And there's also videos here, so I can go to videos on that tab, or I can go back. Where have I gone? Here we go, back to that one there, and I can go to podcasts on that tab and then back. But every time it goes to the pause track, so it puts that at the forefront of your sort of user interface experience. You can't customize the look of the menus on this particular part. I didn't want to go into radio. So that's sort of the Zune or Zune experience that you're going to get on it. Let's actually play a bit of this. This is Mapcast. So obviously listen to Mapcast a lot. You get a little thumbnail of the artwork that you'd normally get in the iTunes store. So it supports all that. It's just a little bit trickier to get it onto the device. And it continues playing while you can. So you can multitask a little bit, I suppose, with background tasks. I suppose you could call that sort of multitasking. So to actually pause it, I have to go back into there, back onto there, and then pause it. And then I can go back to my home screen. So I'm going to give you a view of me again now, so that I can rest my arm for a little bit, because I've been holding that camera for almost 35 minutes, 40 minutes. So I'll give you a view of my ugly mug again. So let's see if there's any other questions coming through in the chat room. Can I compare it to the N8? Well, no, I can't compare it to the N8. Sorry, I haven't tested the N8 yet. I'm hoping to actually get an N8 in probably about a week's time, but I don't think it's going to really compare to that. N8 is more of a feature phone rather than a smartphone. Robin Cognito, which phone is this? Sorry, I only recently joined the chat. This is the HTC 7 Mozart. It's running Windows Phone 7 OS. It was released just the other day. Really nice handset. And for the rest of you who've just joined in the chat room, just to let you know, this is one of the new Windows 7 phones. It's got a 3.7 inch screen, a 1 GHz processor and 8 GB of storage. You can't expand the storage on it. It's got an 8 megapixel camera on the back with a xenon flash, and it's a very, very good camera. I've been very impressed with that. If you go to my channel, if you go to youtube.com/Geekanoids, you can actually see I've done about 4 or 5 videos on this so far, and it shows you the whole home screen interface, how to set up the phone, even shows you a couple of the games running as well, and it shows you the camera in use. I uploaded that one probably about an hour ago, so it shows the actual camera running. The Darkness Lover, would I consider adding a forum to my website? It's something I've looked at. Squarespace do actually charge extra for adding forum features, so it's something I might do next year. Dave, are you going to review the MacBook Air? Delon H 1992. No, I'm not going to review the MacBook Air, but if you go to iGlaswegian's channel on YouTube, and Zen, if you want to put a post to your channel in the chat just so everyone knows where you are, Zen at iGlaswegian on YouTube has done an unboxing and some fantastic videos on the MacBook Air, so I'll leave that to Zen to cover. I'm not going to be covering that at all. I'm actually working on a Mac Pro review for you all at the moment, which should be up in about a week to 10 days time on the channel. Clive76 has asked, how does it compare to Android? And then Sam Louis has asked, what do you prefer at the moment, Android, iOS, or Win Mobile 7 or Symbian? Well, let's answer that question first about Android, iOS, Windows 7 or Symbian. I don't like Symbian. I think that Symbian has had its day really. Seems like a very clunky OS. iOS I absolutely love. It's very fluid, but I do find that the iOS is distracting. I find myself playing games the whole time, and I just don't find it very constructive. And I think that's just because it is so good at delivering games and apps to the device. Android or Windows Phone 7 I think is where it is for myself personally. I think Android is extremely good, but the trouble with Android is that if you change handsets, the user interface can differ quite a lot from handset to handset, so not everything is in the same place. Of course you can customize it to make it the same place, but out of the box experience is different depending on which manufacturer's handset you buy. With Windows Phone 7, every handset, with the exception of maybe just a couple of specific tiles like these ones down here, I think it's the first 4 tiles have to be the same out of the box from every manufacturer, and you'll find that all of the other tiles do feature on the home screen. So I think this will be more consistent and be easier for people to transition across to. As for which one's best, I'm still undecided whether I prefer Android or Windows Phone 7. I think the only thing Microsoft could have done better was give it and I'm sorry to joke, but they could have given it a better name. I mean, Windows Phone 7 mobile phone. I mean, what a mouthful. But then I was surprised they didn't bring out a business edition and an enterprise edition of the handsets as well. I mean, for goodness sake, Microsoft, just call it Windows Phone. It's so much easier. Or Windows 7 phone, not Windows Phone 7 mobile phone OS or whatever they've called it. Absolutely ridiculous. So, the Darkness Lover, back to the questions. I had a little rant there, sorry. How will the iOS, or will the OS, sorry, be updated? Well, it's going to be over the air. Yeah, definitely right, dead on H. You will find that when you turn the handset on or you have a pushed update to the phone, it will notify you that there's an update, and then you can download and install it to the handset. Any other questions coming in? Symbian sucks. Couldn't agree more myself. The Nokia are struggling, but I shouldn't knock them too much, Nokia, because I have actually got a Nokia competition running on the channel next month. But I'm unbiased, so I shouldn't really favour them over any other company. I think what Nokia need to do is really sort of maybe stop the Symbian bashing and just develop a good handset that can run something like Android or Windows Phone 7. Just develop a handset, do what you're good at, you know, make some good hardware to run other people's software. Elvin Yu asks, how is multitasking? Well, there's background tasks, as we just experienced earlier on in the stream, where you can have music playing while you do another task, but there isn't any real true multitasking as such. Some of the apps work together nicely and integrate nicely, but you can't really sort of copy from one app into another. There's no copy and paste either, which is a big downer. So no real good multitasking at the moment. Zen iGlaswegian, that's Zen, has asked, Dave, would you say that Windows Phone is aimed... who would you say Windows Phone is aimed at? And would you recommend one at this present time? I think this is really aimed at people who run Windows 7 PCs, to be honest. Apple have been very successful with their iPhone and the iPod Touch range, and it's got a lot of people to actually buy Macs because they want to stay within the same sort of platform. I know the iPhone works with Windows as well, but I think Microsoft have struggled for a long time to make Windows mobiles appealing, and they've done a really good job at reinventing the interface, and I think this is really aimed at Windows users. They are meant to be giving us Mac compatibility soon, and hopefully by the new year, and then it'll open it up to another debate, I think. But at the moment I'm really liking the interface, and it certainly does seem to deliver the right amount of information on the home screen without you having to keep going into applications. Next question is from Sam Louis 4321. Are you going to the Gadget Show? Yes, I am. I am going to be going to the Gadget Show live, not to test new products necessarily. I'm hopefully going up there to meet Jason Bradbury. I was actually invited to an event Friday, and I was so annoyed. I was invited to go down and interview Jason about these new phones. He was actually down at Expansys, one of the smartphone resellers, and I was due to go down there to interview him, but because of the launch of this, because I had a lot of deliveries coming and I worked by myself, I couldn't get anyone to cover for me, so I had to miss it out on it. So I'm really determined to at least grab an interview with Jason at Gadget Show Live. The Darkness Lover 06, I've got a Windows Live account, a Yahoo account and a Gmail account. Can I use all of them on the phone at once? Yes, you can. Save me picking the camera up, you can see I've got 2 email accounts here on the home screen, and further down into the home screen just down here I've got a Hotmail account as well on there, and you can add as many as you want. As far as I know, I don't think there's any limit, but yes, you can add multiple accounts, and you can tell it with regards to the Google account, you can tell it what information you want synced to the handset. With the Live account you seem to get everything, but with the Google account you can tell it to, for example, not sync your calendar. And it seems to be quite intelligent as well with contacts. I've got it syncing both my Google contacts and my Live contacts, excuse me, and it seems to be intelligent enough not to put duplicates in there. So that's really nice, and when I update a contact on here, it actually pushes it up to my Gmail, so that's really nice. Lockwood Katie, very, very jealous of you, Dave. Lockwood Katie, are you talking about the phone or are you talking about the shirt? I'm really not sure what you're jealous about. Are you jealous about the phone? Well, if you do enough guest reviews for me, then maybe I'll lend you one of these next time. Oh, you're jealous about the gadget show. Now I've got you. Right, yeah, well hopefully, I mean, come along to the gadget show and we can meet at the gadget show, because we've only sort of communicated via email and Twitter. So you need to FaceTime me sometime as well, Lockwood Katie, so that we can have a chat. But yeah, come along to the gadget show. The Darkness Lover, you're impressed by the Windows Phone 7. Yeah, it is really good. I've been very, very pleased with how it's been performing. Dave should be a presenter on the gadget show. Well, thank you very much. I'll tell you a little story. I know this is meant to be a Windows Phone 7 Q&A, but I did actually apply for a job at the gadget show once, and I did also do an interview for Stuff, the magazine, but I did it for their Stuff TV, the channel that they run. And if you check out the YouTube channel for Geekanoids and search for the Griffin, what's the charger called for the Griffin? I've forgotten what it's called. The dock, Power Dock. If you search for Power Dock on my channel, you'll see a video that I did about the Power Dock, and that was actually an interview for Stuff TV. Yes, Sam Louis, I know that they were actually looking for researchers at the moment, but imagine if I did a researcher's job for the gadget show. I wouldn't have any time to test all this great gadget for myself, and I think that the Geekanoids channel and all of the other partners that have sort of joined us in the chat room that create all of this great content, it would be a shame if that disappeared and there was only the gadget show. I absolutely love the gadget show, but I wouldn't be able to give up doing what I do. I really enjoy doing the YouTube channel and the content on there. So you know, it would be just a big shame if I had to give that up. Maybe I should give the gadget show a job. If Jason, if you're watching, I know it doesn't look like you're in the chat room, but Jason, if you're watching and you want to do a guest review for the Geekanoids channel, then get in touch. I don't pay, but it'll be fun. Zen, you've got somebody asking in the chat room to put a link to the address of your MacBook Air video in there. So let me just check that I've enabled links. Allow links. There we go. Zen, if you post a link for the for your MacBook Air video, because you've got quite a few people interested in that. Clive76, it is water, believe it or not. I've just had my dinner before I started doing this Q&A, so yes, it is water. So I think we're going slightly off topic anyway, back to the phone really. This whole Q&A session is to do with the HTC Mozart and the new Windows Phone 7 operating system. This came out just yesterday in the UK, so we've got it ahead of the US and some other countries. Really nice to get something first for once. And I've been really impressed with the user interface. So absolutely fluid interface, something new. All these tiles on the home screen give you live updates to your information. Some fantastic games available. Some really good content already available on the marketplace, and it's a really nice experience. Something definitely that could tear a lot of users away from their iPhones and from their Android based handsets as well. Could I just ask a quick favour? If anyone in the chat room could pop to iGlaswegian's YouTube channel and just post a link to his MacBook Air video in the chat, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Sam Louis 4321, do you think it's worth the money? Right, well, let me run down some prices for you actually. I've got some notes here with some prices. This particular one is the HTC 7 Mozart. Now, The Mozart, it was going to cost you, let me just get this right for you, the HTC 7 Mozart is going to cost you £449 if you buy it on pay-as-you-go. It's still locked to the Orange network, or if you want it on contract, the cheapest contract you can get it free on is a 24-month contract, £32.50 a month. So on contract you're getting lots of minutes and texts for that. I think it's unlimited texts, but you're getting it for, if you times that by 24, so about £720 over 2 years. So it's not a bad price for such a rich featured phone. And don't forget, you're getting an 8 megapixel camera, a music player. It's very, very good for music player, very good for watching video, and it takes HD video as well, so you can actually capture HD video exactly the same as you can with an iPhone 4, and on par with the quality of the iPhone 4. In fact, the photos that I took on this, I was extremely impressed. Absolutely stunning. Let me just pop into my pictures. So this is sort of the pictures interface, and this you can scroll across. Actually, let me just pop this down and I'll give you a better view of this. So I've been extremely impressed with the actual picture quality. Let's get this back on track. So this is sort of the pictures hub, and you can scroll sort of left and right. Yeah, it even pulls in Facebook stuff as well. Or I can go to all, and then it goes into this sort of flips mode here. And these are the ones that they've pre-installed on there, but this is the ones where I've just been experimenting with the camera. If I go into this one, don't ask me what the figure is. I'm sure somebody will know in the chat room what this figure is, but this is one that I actually took with the camera, and the detail on it, if I zoom in, is absolutely fantastic. Look at the detail on that. This phone keeps moving. So really, really impressed with the picture quality. This is a picture I took of my microphone. So it's picked up on the grid on the microphone. Very, very impressed with the actual picture quality. You do have to hold the phone quite still whilst you're taking the photos, but I think this is a very good camera on this handset. I certainly would recommend it if you're looking for a mobile phone that takes decent quality pictures. Then I can certainly recommend this one. This is one of the best ones actually. 8 megapixels is the highest rated camera in the launch phones. The Darkness Lover just spent £380 on an HD7 and kept his current contract. That is a fantastic price. The actual full price of the HD7, this isn't an HD7, but there is another model called the HD7. That's got a 4.3 inch screen, and that's £450 if you buy an unlocked one, or you're committing to round about £30 a month on a 24-month. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong sheet. The HD7, yeah, you're actually committing to round about £35 a month for an HD7, so about £700. So you got a good deal there by paying that amount for the handset. It does record video at 720p. Sam Louis asks, what normal phone do I use if not using a PR model? Well, to be honest, I sort of jump from PR models. I normally get to keep them for between 4 and 6 weeks, and I jump between each one because they normally come through unlocked. When I'm not actually using a PR model though, I more often than not use the Motorola Flip. I've got a little Motorola Flip that I use. That's an Android based phone, by the way, or an HTC Wildfire. I've got one of those hanging around somewhere as well. I haven't actually tested it in low light, so I can't really comment on that, and I can't show you, I can't take this bottom off because I can't do it one-handed, but the Darkness Lovers asked where the SIM card goes. Well, on the bottom here, this bottom section actually slides off, and you have to remove the battery to put the SIM card in, so it just sort of slides off the bottom. Very easy to do, not the most clever way of doing it, but to get this construction on the back, they've had to to do it that way, because they made this back in sort of one piece and then just slotted the bottom and that top section onto it. So yeah, not a brilliant way of doing the SIM card, but I suppose the only way they could do it on this particular handset. I haven't actually tried the Sony Ericsson Elm, but apparently according to Sam Louie it's got an excellent or an amazing 5 megapixel camera. Clive76, did you say you can't add memory to it, and how much space does it have for photos, apps, etc.? That is a very good question. There is only one Windows Phone 7 mobile that will allow you to add extra memory, and that is the Samsung Focus in America, and you can actually add up to 32 gigabytes to that one. You can't use it as storage. What it does is it actually needs a reboot, and then it adds that memory to the system memory to give you 40 gigabytes in total, but that's only available on the Samsung Focus. All of the other phones, all of the European phones and the UK phones, so that's the HD7, the Mozart, the Trophy, the Surround, the Samsung Omnia 7, all of them come with either 8 or 16 gigabytes of storage space, and you cannot add to it. Now this particular one has got 8 gigabytes of internal storage, and when everything starts up and you look at how much actual space you've got to store stuff on, you get just under the 8 gigabytes for storing and installing extra bits on. There is also memory in here as well. You get a ROM of 512 megabytes. That's for like the OS, and then a RAM of 576 megabytes, and that's where you install all the apps, and the apps are very small. So this has been really interesting. I hope that a lot of you got your questions answered. Phone call quality, you jumped in just in time because I'm going to really wrap this up, but the actual call quality on this, if I just show you, let's go on here. There's a little, I'm not sure it's going to pick it up on this low res camera, but the mic pickup is there, and then you've got a nice sort of grilled speaker that goes up against your ear on the top there, and it is actually very good quality. I've called probably about a dozen people on this today, and they have all said that it's extremely clear, so good voice clarity to it. And when I've got this up to my ear, I also have found that it does give a very nice sound to it. Something you should also be aware of, if you look at this, as I put that up to my ear, it doesn't have a proximity sensor. If I'm in my call tab and I go to dial a number, so there I've got a number dialed in, and I put it up to my ear, it still doesn't darken the screen. If I actually call and put it up to my ear, then it does. So the proximity sensor only kicks in when you actually are in a call. So that's a really nice feature. So it doesn't do it accidentally. But as you asked, the actual call quality is pretty good. I've been very impressed with the call quality. The little tiny speaker on the back, again, not that brilliant. It's okay, it's acceptable, but not the best. It's a tiny speaker. Look at the size of that. I'm sure they could have done something better than that, but it's okay for listening to the occasional music. Looks like Lockwood Katie, it looks like you're going now. Thanks very much for coming on to the UStream. I'll speak to you soon. AKXSK, can you download music straight from the phone? Yes, you can. You do it through the Zune interface, absolutely correct. You can actually purchase and download music all on the handset, the same as you can with apps. And when's the next UStream? Yeah, well, I'll cover that off now. I'm going to stop the Q&A now because I could go on talking about this fantastic handset for absolutely hours. I'm going to do probably one UStream every couple of weeks. I can't commit to doing more than that, purely because of the workload I have with doing reviews. But whenever there's a new release, something like this, or a big new product, I'll probably put a review up or an unboxing quite early on the Geekanoids channel, and then I will host another Q&A session. But if you look out for me on UStream once a month, then I think that's a fair assumption that I'll be on here at least once a month, but hopefully once every couple of weeks. And I'll always let you guys know if you follow me on Twitter by following @Geekanoids, then I will always let you know when I'm going to be on UStream. I'll always let you know through YouTube as well. I can post bulletins, so if you make sure you subscribe to me on the YouTube channel, then I will most certainly make sure that I let everyone know if I'm going to be streaming live. So I'm going to finish the Q&A now. I just want to thank everyone for coming along and asking questions about Windows Phone 7. It's a fantastic new experience, new user interface. It's not going to be for everyone, but Microsoft have done a lot of things right with this new interface, and I think they've got a winner on their hands with it really. I think they've listened, they've understood to keep the user interface nice and simple, and I think it's a pleasure to use. Not sure whether I'm going to choose it over Android yet. I probably would choose it over iOS though, because as I said earlier in the chat, iOS is a little bit distracting for me and I find myself playing games all the time. If you do get one of these, just a word of warning, there is an app on the App Store called Flowers. Do not download it because it's addictive and you will spend hours playing it just trying to match up the same colour flowers and to beat your previous score. It's a very, very addictive application. So, and it isn't a bad thing. You're right, Robin Cognito. It's not a bad thing, but if you've got to get work done, you don't want to be playing apps all the time. But you can certainly have fun along the way. This is a really nice handset. This is the HTC Mozart. We've been talking about Windows Phone 7 today. I'm going to say goodbye to you all. Please, please, please head on over to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Geekanoids. Please do follow me on Twitter by following @Geekanoids. Thank you for everyone for participating in this live broadcast, and I'll see you all next time.